real reason you push people away. A deep dive into Carl Jung's shadow theory. The most terrifying thing is to accept oneself completely. You convinced yourself they were never right for you anyway. Sound familiar? What you might not realize is that this response, this sudden emotional retreat, is one of the most self-sabotaging patterns Carl Jung ever described. It's not about fearing rejection. It's about fearing through visibility. This is known as intimacy avoidance. And no, it doesn't mean you don't want love. On the contrary, you might want it so deeply that your unconscious mind is terrified of what would happen if you actually received it. Because real love means letting someone see you. And being seen can feel like a threat when you've spent a lifetime hiding your wounds, especially if those wounds come from places where love was once conditional, inconsistent, or even weaponized. You don't push people away because you're cold. You push them away because to your psyche, closeness feels dangerous. Not physically, but emotionally. Love becomes a battlefield where your past wounds are triggered. Jung put it plainly, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. This isn't fate. This is a trauma-driven pattern. And it often begins in childhood, in moments too subtle to notice, but too impactful to forget. Maybe you grew up in a home where emotions weren't acknowledged, where vulnerability was punished, or where love came with strings attached. So you learned letting someone in is risky. Giving your heart means giving someone power. Even now, as an adult, your nervous system remembers. It remembers what it meant to be rejected for showing emotion. It remembers what it felt like to be loved only when you were good. So today, when someone truly sees you, your shadow whispers, "Don't trust this." And suddenly, you become emotionally distant. You nitpick and find faults. You fantasize about someone better. You convince yourself they're not the one. Or worst of all, you decide you're not worthy of being loved at all. But let's be clear, you're not pushing them away because you don't care. You're protecting the part of you that still feels unsafe. Carl Jung taught that the pieces of ourselves we deny, our shadow, don't disappear. They shape our choices from the background. So when someone inches close to your deepest insecurities, your shame, your unmet needs, your fear of abandonment, your unconscious flips the switch, protect, deflect, escape. And the conscious mind, trying to keep the peace, follows along with believable excuses. They are too intense, I just don't feel the spark, the timing's not right. But what's really happening is this. Someone is seeing through the mask. And your shadow, conditioned for emotional survival, can't bear the exposure. You may say you want love, that you're ready for something real, but until you reconcile the part of you that learned to equate love with danger, that same part will sabotage every connection. There are some of the hidden signs. You're consistently drawn to people who can't commit. You get restless or bored when a relationship becomes too peaceful. You push away the people who try to love you. You share facts, but not your raw emotions. Vulnerability leaves you feeling regret, not relief. You end relationships before they get too real. Deep down, you believe you must earn love through perfection. Avoiding intimacy doesn't mean avoiding people. It means avoiding the version of yourself that still believes love is conditional, dangerous, or impossible. But here's the pivotal shift. It's about finally accepting the parts of you you've disowned. The scared child. You free yourself from their control. You stop living in emotional reaction and start choosing connection on your own terms. It may involve therapy. With time, love stops feeling like a battlefield and begins to feel like a sanctuary. If you revire your nervous system, no longer even cause danger. It may start feeling like a battlefield and begins to feel like a fight. And from individual to so maybe you're not emotionally unavailable, you're not too much or too damaged. Maybe you're just human. Human and healing. Maybe you've spent years building a version of love where safety only existed behind distance, but now you're ready to build something real. Because as Jung reminds us, the parts of yourself you bury don't die. They shape your life from underneath. Let those buried parts speak. Let them rise, let them be loved. If you've been running, it's not because you're unlovable. It's because the part of you that was once rejected still doesn't know it belongs. That's what intimacy avoidance is. Not weakness, not failure. A defense, a shadow. But shadows dissolve in the light. So if you're done repeating the same painful patterns, if you're ready to stop disappearing when things get real, then this is your first step. Let yourself be seen. First by you, then bravely by someone else. Name the fear, embrace the child, reclaim the parts that learn to hide. And when the time feels right, let love come close. If this stirred something deep in you, leave a comment. Let us know which line opened something inside you. And if you're facing a challenge in love or healing, share your story. Your question might just become the next video. Psychology doesn't just describe pain, it maps a path through it. Subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, stay awake, stay aware, stay whole.